All right, guys, what's going on? My name is Derek Cleland. I'm the owner and founder of Your Haven. We are really a global design company now. I am documenting through this podcast, basically building this business. And last time I did an episode was February 6th. I kind of talked about uh, our month in January and how it went. And right now it's April 1st. And so I kind of just want to recap from February 6th. That was about a week before the marathon. And then a week before our US team left to go travel over to the Philippines to have our year end trip. And that trip was absolutely amazing. Um, really, really such a blessing to be able to go with 31 of our team members all the way across the world to enjoy a week together. And really, a lot of what that taught me is that fulfillment in business really comes from seeing your people grow and seeing your customers grow. My goals have really changed over the last couple of years and really over the last year as I've grown this business. This has turned into something completely different than I ever thought it was really going to be. At first, the point of Your Haven was to sell a design package to homeowners that was going to help them with installing their landscapes and helping them have a better experience overall. But as we've brought in the pro membership and as our focus has turned from providing and serving outdoor living contractors, we've been able to scale on a different level. I don't know exactly how many people we are at in February, but as of today, right now, which is April 1st, we are at 66 team members on the team. It's been an incredible journey, and there's been a lot of learning lessons over the last month and a half. I think first, where we should start is the trip. What an amazing experience to be able to spend time with your team and to be able to give back and enjoy and build the culture through just being able to hang out with each other, being able to learn about each other on a personal level. And I know some business guys and some owners aren't really that way, but for me, it's a little bit different. I tell all my people right from the beginning that we have to separate our friendship and our business relationship. Those two are completely separate. If you're not performing here, we're going to let you go. If you're not here to benefit the rest of your team, our customers, and grow the company, I got to let you go. But we can also have other conversations as well, but it just needs to be known that those two need to be split and decisions need to be made. This company is much bigger than me. There's no personal decisions in this company anymore. It's all about what's best for the business. And so being able to be out there with 31 of us was an amazing experience. We went to Boracay. There was 9 members from the US team and 22 members from the Filipino team. And it was fantastic. I mean, the first night, everybody was a little bit timid, was a little bit nervous, kind of reserved. And we had a nice dinner all together. Everybody had a beer. And then we walked over to this club called Epic that was right next to the hotel. And Zen, our sales manager, he was all excited. So he bought a couple bottles at this table. And then from there, it went crazy. And then the rest of the week, everybody opened up. We had a great time. We partied, we laughed, we explored. We did an awards night, which was amazing. I got to give some awards to outstanding people who really performed last year, and they absolutely deserve that. And I'm really looking forward to our next trip, which is going to be in Bali in next January. Now, one thing I learned is that February is too late in the year to do a trip. The biggest problem we're having as a business right now is that we're falling behind on deadlines because of the excess demand we've had. The Boracay trip definitely set us back a little bit. I mean, 22 of our designers and on our design team being gone for 5 days definitely set our deadlines a little bit back. But more than anything, what set us back was just not being prepared for the influx of demand that we had from the relationships that we built over the last couple months. I'm going to get back to that in a second, but I want to talk about something that is going to be a huge game changer for our company and actually gives me even more purpose in building this business. After the Boracay trip, I stayed in the Philippines for about 8 days. I stayed in Clark, Pampanga, which is north of Manila. I have a couple team members there, Frances, who's my executive assistant and also our project manager. She does so many things right now. That's another problem with having a small company. Everybody does so much. I got to spend a lot of time with her and her husband, and it was just me there. The reason why I was going to stay in the Philippines after the Boracay trip, at first, back in November when I made this decision, I actually had the trip booked for 20 days. My goal was to go create some relationships with some colleges to create an opportunity for young professionals and students to learn some design skills and then just create a funnel of talent and a pipeline of talent. And my other goal was to go find an office out there. What ended up happening was I got invited to speak at an event in Florida, the Leanscaper Operations Intensive. Mark Bradley, who I met last November and I've talked about in other previous podcasts, invited me to come speak there. And I couldn't turn that down. And that was March 13th or 15th or somewhere around there. I think March 13th. And so I was staying from March 1st to about March 10th or 11th. So I shortened my trip in the Philippines to only be about 8 or 9 days rather than 3 weeks because I really wanted to be at that event. We also decided kind of as a company and as leadership that having an office in the Philippines, that was one of my other goals, was to find an office. Having an office there for all our current members wasn't going to be what really we wanted it to be. I wanted to have a space where our people could come together and our feedback loop could be shorter and we could help train them and teach them all in one spot. But everybody loves to work from home. And so, and all of our people are all over the Philippines. So it's not easy to just get somewhere. So I cut the trip short. What ended up happening was amazing. So the first night I was in the Philippines and I was working nights because we were still working on the US Central Standard Time Zone. Frances and her husband JM picked me up from the hotel and we went to this coffee shop and me and JM just started talking. And JM's a very smart guy. He was telling me that in his previous business, he worked for an Australian accounting company, and that accounting company, his role for them was to build a talent pipeline. He created a training program that was an 8-week training program for young professionals. He partnered with chapters within the area. A chapter in the Philippines is kind of like a community for whatever sector of business that you're in. So there's accounting chapters, there's landscape design chapters, architecture chapters, all that. He connected with chapters, the leader of the chapters, and then he also connected with some of the colleges, and he basically created this offer that was a paid internship, an 8-week internship, 7 tests throughout that time, and if they passed all of the tests, he would then be able to give them a job offer to work for the Australian accounting company. Well, what he told me next was absolutely insane. He told me that in 2 years, he pushed through 1,500 accounting students through that training program and got them all jobs, like 90% success rate. I mean, that is absolutely insane. I've never even heard of anything like that. And immediately I was like, this is what we need to do. This is what the office was for. So JM said, yo, let me handle it. I have an idea. I've been speaking at some of these colleges and I think it'd be really great for you to speak because one, your story, right? You didn't, and my story, I've failed multiple times. I've been to zero multiple times. I started this company with zero, and I'm just trying to figure it out, right? Nothing was really given to me. And so he was like, dude, your story is really inspiring. And I think they'd really like to hear from somebody who's actually a businessman. And so for the next 4 or 5 days, he set this all up. So while he was doing that, I found an office space. I met with a gentleman named Brian, who we're now bringing onto the team. And he's actually going to be handling a lot of the relations on the Philippine design team side, management, computers, the design academy, which I'm going to get to, that was a little spoiler, and recruiting, all of that on that side, which I'm really excited about. He worked for another design company for the last 15 years. The owner had sold and the experience hasn't been the same and he's looking for a really good opportunity. We've been talking for the last couple months because some of his old designers now work for us. I took him to dinner. I was kind of telling him some of the issues we're having. And he's, we ended up kind of making an offer and an agreement and now we're cooking. So he actually starts April 7th, which I cannot wait for. But anyways, let's get back to the story. So I get a call from JM on a Thursday and he goes, hey, I got it done. You're speaking at Bulacan State University in front of the architecture chapter and in front of the students in the landscape architecture school on Saturday. And I'm like, JM, what? This is crazy, man. What an amazing thing. And he pushed really hard and worked really hard for me to make that happen because there was a lot of hoops he had to jump through. And he never told me about any of the problems that were going on or anything that he was solving. He just told me, hey, I got it done. And JM, I'm forever grateful for you for that. And it was an amazing experience. So I got to meet with Brian. I found an office, got to hang out with the team a little bit more. I met my computer supplier. We put together some deals and some offers. And then on Saturday, I got to speak in front of about 60 different people. The dean of the school, the president of the landscape architecture chapter, and basically what I pitched them was I told them my story. And I told them that the world has changed. And everybody knows that, right? People are outsourcing to the Philippines already. But the world is different now, and there's a major opportunity for you here, and I want to provide an opportunity. And what I threw up a QR code at the end, and I said, scan this QR code, and I want you to apply for the Your Haven Design Academy. It's going to be an 8-week program, 7 tests. If you make it through, and the first class is going to be this summer, if you make it through, you're going to get a job offer to work at Your Haven as a landscape designer and continue your career, where you can work from home, where you can work anywhere in the world, have a good salary to take care of your family, learn real skills that are going to help you in your professional career, learn life skills that are going to help you just in your life, because we talk a lot about that. And the dean of the school came up to me after and he said, man, I'm really impressed by this, but honestly, I don't believe you. We've never had a foreigner like this come talk to our school, let alone offer something like this, and I don't really know if you're going to make it happen. That's what he said to me. And I said, sir, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And I will do anything to make that happen, because providing a design academy and an opportunity for these people who really don't have much or don't have great opportunities, that is so fulfilling. And that's just something that is going to completely change our life, just in the fact of, in terms of we're giving back to the world, but also just the business. Being able to create a talent pipeline and a recruiting pipeline so that we can fulfill the demand is crazy. It's actually all we need. The biggest problem in our company right now is that we have too much work, which is an absolute blessing. It's an amazing thing. People wake up every day and they get on their knees and they pray for this opportunity, and we have this right now. So I ended up leaving the Philippines. I flew straight to Florida. So I flew from Manila to San Francisco to Chicago, Chicago to Florida. I met with some of the guys at Leanscaper, and then that was on a Monday. And then on Tuesday, I spoke in front of about 250 people. The title of my session is Lean Design, Engineering Margin Rather Than Managing Problems. And the point of the talk was basically to talk about how important it is to sell design and set expectations with your homeowner. That the focus shouldn't be selling the $300,000 project right away. It should be able to get them to invest in you, to gain their trust, to be the leader and be the professional in the space, have them buy a design and go through the design process. Because once you do that, they're not talking to 15, 20 other people. They want somebody who can lead them. And when you get somebody to buy a design from you, you've earned that trust. And then once you present the design, you have them emotionally bought into you as well, and typically you're going to win the job. So that was kind of the first half. And then the second half, I basically gave away our entire business model, from how our design team is structured, to our asset libraries, to all the tools that we use, to the systems that we have in place. And then at the end, I basically said, hey, look, you can take all of this and do it yourself, or you can scan this QR code right here and you can hire us to do it, whatever you guys want. So I basically gave away everything, and then I said, you can hire us and you can pay for the implementation, or you can build it yourself, whatever you want. And it was a really, really cool opportunity. I'm really grateful for Mark, Tommy, Christian, Benji, Caitlin, everybody at the Leanscaper team who supported me and who got me out there. Meg, David, a lot of guys. I got to meet so many different people out there. Another reason why we've had so much demand recently is because Mark, who's the owner of Leanscaper, is traveling around the world, around the US and Canada, and just dropping our name time after time again. And we look in the leads board and there's 20 new leads, 40 new leads every time he drops our name, which is just such a blessing. But it's like, man, okay, now we got to figure out how we get all this done, right? And that's all on Bailey. That's Bailey's job, and Bailey wants that responsibility, which is amazing. And we have a clear path for how we can do it, right? We need to recruit properly. We need to have the Design Academy running. We need to have Brian come in and really help manage the team, provide training, provide the ability to recruit and manage the computers and manage just all the technical stuff on the back end of the operation side, and then just have Bailey go build. And Bailey's doing such an amazing job with Claude and with building out systems and dashboards. And one big move we made this month as well in March is we moved from ChatGPT strictly to Claude. So all of our ChatGPT stuff is canceled and we're just using Claude. So Eddie's using it for a lot of systems. Bailey's using it for a lot of system build outs on the operation side. And what I'm doing right now in the last couple of days is I've been building out a front facing app that our contractor customers can log into, so they're not logging into monday.com to manage all of their projects, because it's not made for our company, right? It's just a generic system, and it's very great. And instead of replacing Monday and Slack and Notion and Google Drive and all the other tools that we use, we're just going to build almost like a mask on top of all that our operating system that will be the Your Haven kind of dashboard portal. So it'll be a much better experience for our contractors, and that's really what we need. When at this point that I'm in right now, which is where we just have a ton of demand and so many customers and our deadlines are slipping, a lot of this has been about managing emotions and expectations with the customers, being incredibly honest with them, taking responsibility that the deadlines are slipping, but then also sharing how we're solving this problem. This month I bought 10 brand new computers. They're about $3,000 each. We bought 10 new accounts for D5. We've hired about 6 new designers this month just to try to get caught up and fulfill the demand. And I've never actually felt more confident in the ability to be able to go out and turn it on even more. Go speak at more events, go do more webinars, which I did a couple webinars this month, one with Justin White and one with Andrew Letterkersey, and both of them crushed. We got customers from both. Being able to just go spend more money on ads. Our sales team's super dialed. I'll talk about that in a second. I know exactly what I need to go do to turn that on. And being confident in that means that we can do more to overhire a little bit, go get more computers, go get more D5 accounts, which is our rendering program, go recruit top talent, so that we're ready for us to go push it. I mean, it's only April 1st. The year hasn't even started. We're up 280% year to date from January 1st to March 31st. Last year, we did about $250,000. This year, we did about $650,000. $650,000 in 3 months. A big move that I made this month. One of the problems we're having is our trial members. We have a trial offer that we offer. It's 4 designs for $19.97. They can use it anytime. A lot of the times we run into this issue where our sales guys will pitch our 3 packages and then pitch the trial, and then the customer won't purchase the trial on the call. When you purchase the trial, we put you through an onboarding process. We teach you monday.com. We get a bunch of information about you and your business, so we know what your expectations are, what materials you use, things like that. And so the onboarding process is important. You meet with Bailey, you talk about your goals, your systems right now in place, how you're selling designs. He teaches you how to use the platform, etc. And we didn't have people buying the trial on the call. They'd say, hey, look, I want to wait until I have a homeowner who needs a design. Then they'd come back in a week when they just met with a homeowner, sold them a design or told them they have a design in a week, come back to us, buy the trial, but they haven't gone through the onboarding process. We haven't got to meet them. They don't know how to use the system. They're scrambling, they're rushing, they're scrambling and rushing us. We're falling behind on designs and they're upset. And we just can't have that. It's not a great customer. We're not here to just sell designs. We're here to implement a design system into your business to help you grow. There has to be a standard process that you follow as a contractor that you put your customer through every single time. And it starts with first selling a design and then setting the expectation for what comes next. A great setup that we found is, hey, you sell them a design, then in a couple days you send them the house model. A couple days after that, you invite them to your office and you show them material samples and you just talk to them and show them your operation. Then you can invite them to a job. And then at that point, the first draft design will be done in about 7 to 10 days, sometimes a little more depending on the package we're on. And then you can invite them back to your office and present the design in person. Following a standardized system and a process is going to allow you to engineer margin rather than manage problems once the design is sold. Making all those decisions up front is so incredibly important. allowing your homeowner to make their decisions by showing them the 3D, accurately estimating the project by then using our 2D, and then printing out both and having them on site during the install so that you can avoid change orders and miscommunication. Design is also amazing because it removes the emotion between you and your project manager and your homeowner. It's just the foundation. So you can always go back to the design. If it's in the design, it's in the project. And if it's not in the design, it's not what we agreed upon. And it's a change order. And it's as simple as that. So we've talked a lot about that with a lot of our customers. And a lot of our customers who we want to work with are willing to invest in the membership and invest in a process and a system where they're not rushing, they're following a standardized process, and the trial didn't bring those customers. And so a big move I made, and the trial was a big piece for us, is I cut the trial this month. And what that did is actually had an incredible impact on our business. All three of our sales guys had a huge month. They all had an amazing month. At first, they were upset about the trial. They didn't want the trial to go. But what it did was we started the month at like $56,000 in recurring revenue. That doesn't account for all the pay in fulls that we have. We have a lot of pay in full offers. So if you pay for 5 months, you get a 6-month free. If you pay for 10 months, you get 11th and 12th month free. So we get a lot of pay in fulls, which that helps us go buy more computers and invest in the business. When we cut the trial, they were a little upset and they were confused and just like, hey, why are we doing this? And I explained, hey, look, we just need to throttle a little bit so that we can build up the design team, but also we want more serious customers. It's not all about throttling. We need to go sell. We need to go make money to provide for the business, but we also need better customers. We started March 1st at $56,000 in recurring revenue, and we ended yesterday at $86,000 in monthly recurring revenue on 12-month contracts from cutting the trial and saying, hey, we don't do a trial. If you want to really be a part of the system, these are our offers. Our starter offer has been killing it. We have 52 starter members. We have about 42 pro members. And we're just right on the path, man. It's amazing. A lot of our sales guys are really excited, really happy. I'm now in Vegas, so it's a little bit different. I moved to Vegas. I flew from Florida after my chat to Las Vegas. Me and Zen got a house together. The main goal with the Vegas move was just to be closer to my family. You know, I left 12 years ago from Vegas where I grew up to go to college. Then I went to San Diego where I had my landscape company, and that went to zero. And then I went to Austin and I tried a couple things there. And now that we have a good business going, it's like, man, I need to allow myself to have the support of my family and be able to come back to the place where I grew up. And I'm incredibly happy to be here, and it's really exciting. And, you know, our team is really dialed in. It's really a fun thing. This is definitely going to be our biggest month as far as bonuses go, which is really awesome. It's very well deserved on everybody. You know, helping push and create leaders is such an impactful thing in your business. Giving your team the space to make decisions on their own. When they come to you and ask you a question, what I've been doing is just asking them, hey, what do you think? What do you think would be the best answer? They give me the answer. Now they have ownership of that answer and they go implement it. And if it doesn't work, then it's like, okay, well, what are the other options? What else can we do? Allowing them to have ownership of their decisions and being a leader, that allows them to work harder. That allows them to feel that they have more ownership in their decision. And that has created a huge impact for us and the team. And it's just an exciting time because there's so many great things happening. As far as April goes, we have, I did a couple fun things. One, we have a Strava challenge. So I got all our team on a Strava, and basically whoever has the most miles in the month is going to win a bonus. So that first place gets 500, second place gets 250, and third place gets $100. And you know, it's a fun thing. It's a side thing. It's mainly just building the culture and getting people in shape. Like, if you're not in the best shape for yourself and you're not taking care of yourself, how can you be the best for your family? How can you be the best in your relationships and with your friends? And how can you be the best at work? But when you get in your body and you get out of the mind and you get excited about, you know, taking care of yourself, you're so much more useful in every aspect of life. So I'm really excited about that. And then next week, I'm having Scott, Bailey, and Eddie come stay at the house. and we're basically going to grind for 5, 6 days straight together. It's going to be really good. Set goals for the rest of the year, talk about what's working, what's not working, set expectations for each other, have a nice dinner, just enjoy this time in the space together. And then the following weekend, April 12th and 13th, we're having 9 of our top pro members come out from all over Florida, North Carolina, California, Texas, Michigan, all over Arizona. They're going to come out, and I have a really cool weekend set up. I got them all rooms at the M Hotel. We're going to golf Saturday morning. Then we're going to come back to our house. I got a private chef who's going to cook an amazing lunch, some appetizers, and then dinner for us. And then we're going to have a little poker night. And the goal of the weekend is really just to hang out and allow other top builders who are using us to meet each other and just talk about things that are working in their business. I think that they all are super smart. They've obviously created an amazing thing, and they got something really awesome going. And so being able to put them together and give back to them as well for supporting us is, I think, going to be a really cool thing. So I'm really excited about that. And then, Brian starts next week, and then we just need to go recruit. That's really it. We go find top talent. I know there's people right now, because there is a little chitter chatter, right? Can your Haven keep up? They scaled too fast. They're missing deadlines. They can't execute. There is a little bit of chitter chatter, and we talk a lot in the company about keeping a cool head and having a good mindset and focusing on the present, not getting anxious or depressed, because those are stories of the future and the past. That's not real. What's only real is this present moment right now. But this is a little bit of the time where you can be a killer, right? When other people are doubting, can you be the person who's going to overcome that? Who can we be as a company? And when we overcome this, which I know we will and we already are, and when we overcome this company is going to skyrocket. Nobody else has this offer. Nobody else has this team culture. Nobody else is as bought in as we are in serving our customers and helping our people grow. I would literally kill for this. I would do anything to make this work, and not just because of me, but because of all the people who have risked their lives to hire us, their livelihood, their families. They've put their businesses at risk to hire us, and we're helping them grow. And all the people on our team who are using their salary to support their family, their kids, their wife. This is much bigger than any one person right now, and it's absolutely incredible. And like I said, I would kill for this. I would do anything that it takes to make this happen. And we have a great leadership team who's on the same page too. And I'm proud of all of you guys, every single one of you. I'm proud of everything that we've accomplished so far. And I think we all know where we can go. There's 600,000 something contractors in the US. If a fifth of those are our ideal customer, 150,000 are those our ideal customer, we only have 400 of those customers right now. That's a third of 1%. If we 10x that and have a couple percentage points of the market, this is $100 million plus business. This is insane. The opportunity is there, and we just have to go capitalize. I'm very grateful for the experience, and I think that, I talked to some friends who want to start a business and want to do this and want to do that, and all I'd say is just bet on yourself. And there's no perfect time to start anything. The time is right now. To the rest of the team, continue going hard. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you guys. We're in Vegas. It's a beautiful place. We're one quarter through the way. We're one quarter into the year, 2026. And let's go just prove everybody wrong and prove everybody right who believes in us. Because we don't really have too many people who don't believe in us. Everybody wants this to work, because it's super impactful for their business too. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we serve you at the highest level as our customer, and continue growing in our process, and continue implementing and working hard on your behalf so that your business can grow. And you have my word on that. And to our people, you have my word that I would do anything for you, as long as you give the same energy and same commitment to the rest of your team, and to your life, and to your family, and to this company. And I will do the same for you always. Thanks for listening. I don't know how long that was. we'll recap at the end of April. Let's go have a big month.